Now we have blush, you guys. Blush is going to be a lot harder. There's a lot more palettes, so let's get into it. Hopefully I have enough room on the other side of this drawer. This isn't the best organization, but when I'm fully done, I'm going to try to like flip-flop things around to make sure that it looks kind of nice, but I mean, it's going to be better than it was. So again, we're going to try to get rid of some of these unnecessary palettes. I call them unnecessary because they are old and I don't use them, so we're gonna get rid of Morphe. Now, it's nothing against the brand, but I don't ever reach for these Carity blush palettes because of the packaging. I just don't like the packaging. I don't know why, but packaging for me is super important. So if these are untouched, I will donate them. The ones that are touched, I will get rid of. I never reach for this Pixie Glow. Products like this too, for some reason, I just rarely reach for them, so I'm gonna get rid of this. I'm keeping all of my Benefit box blushes. I love them all for different reasons, so I really need to figure out where I wanna put them. That's the only unfortunate thing about these, is that the packaging is kind of awkward. Blush palettes that I will be keeping, the Lunar Beauty palette. I love this palette. I highly recommend it. If you guys can get your hands on this, it's so beautiful. It is one of my favorites. One of my online friends sent me this Nars palette. It's one of my only Nars products. It's really beautiful, so I'm keeping this. I have the Tarteist Pro Glow blush. It does have blush and bronzer and highlighter, but I think I am gonna keep it over to the blush side. Now, I love liquid blush. I love cream blush, but there are only some colors that I ever use out of these iconic London ones. So I'm gonna keep the colors that I use. There's a peachy one, a pink one, a more like nude toned one, and I will get rid of the two deeper tones. So grabbing some creams and liquids, I have these Juicy Pangs. These are Korean beauty. I haven't tried them yet on my face, but I love the way they look. They look like little nail polish bottles. Keeping these. I also have the Rare Beauty, which is one of my favorites. I like to keep it towards the front. I have a Flower Beauty blush balm. I'm keeping it because I want a different color and I don't want to accidentally buy this color again. I know that's a weird reason to keep it, but I want to keep it until I get the correct color. Then I'm going to get rid of this one. It's a little too orange for me. Then I have a Kylie blush stick. This is one of my favorite products from Kylie Cosmetics. This is in the shade In My Feels. These chunky Colourpop duos are going to go. I liked them when they were new, but I just stopped reaching for them because of the chunkiness. I have the Sigma blush palette I'm gonna keep, and I have a Z palette full of Makeup Geek blushes. These are old. I'm gonna be getting rid of them, cleaning out the Z palette and using them for some eyeshadows. I actually needed a fresh Z palette, so I'm glad that I can get rid of those and use this. I'm keeping the Pixie Summer Glow palette. It's one of my favorite blush palettes. The Wet n Wild Pac-Man blush palette is my all-time favorite drugstore blush palette, so I'm definitely keeping this. And I'm also keeping this one. It's fairly new to me. It's from Pop Beauty. It has kind of highlighters and blush in it, but I do keep it in this drawer. Now, I might have to move things around. I think I do, because I have a ton of single blushes. So we're gonna move the creams and liquids to the front in these little containers here. I like to have access to these because they are some of my favorites. And then we'll reserve this for the compacts because we have a lot of compacts. So these Jouer duos were my favorite for a really long time. I'm gonna keep two of them. I'm gonna keep this one. This is Adore. I'm also gonna keep this one. It's a little newer. This one is called Rose Gold Blush Duo. So I will keep these two. And I'm getting rid of the purpley one. This one is called Coquette. I did get my use out of this though. We have a ton of Anastasia, and again, I think I'm gonna donate the ones that aren't touched. We have this peachy one that I really do like. Let me see. This is too dark for me. It has not been touched. This is very purple. That hasn't been touched either. This one has been touched, but I don't think I would reach for it again. I think I'm gonna get rid of this one. And this one hasn't been touched either. So we've got some donations. Wet n Wild Color Icon, love them, are expired. They have new packaging now. I will pick up some of my favorites. My favorite of all time is Mellow Wine. So I think I'm gonna go get that from the drugstore next time I remember to, and get rid of these expired ones because these are like non-existent anymore. Now they have nice round chic packaging. I'm gonna get rid of this Stilazzi palette. It's just a couple years old. Now I really, really like these fruity ones from Too Faced, so I'm gonna have to go through them and pick my favorites. I love the packaging so much and they're so fun for Instagram tutorials, so I'm gonna keep them all, but I'm gonna put them in the back of the drawer, I think. I don't know, this is so hard. I rarely reach for these anymore. Let me take another look. Berries and Bubbly we're keeping. Watermelon is so freaking cute, we're keeping. This pineapple one is actually a bronzer, so we'll put this over with the bronzers. The peach one, I can get rid of. The cherry one is really cute, but really dark, so I'm gonna get rid of this one. This is way too deep for me, so I'll get rid of this one. This is Pomegranate. This one is Strobe Berry. I'm gonna keep this one. And Papaya Pop is my favorite, so keeping. I wish I had proper storage. I finally have Nars Orgasm because, again, a friend sent me this, so I'm gonna keep this. Now these Tarte Amazonian Clay blushes are some of my favorite, so all of the shades I think that will work for me, I'm going to keep. Again, getting rid of the chunky Colourpop bronzer duo. We have an RCMA professional blush I'm excited to use. I don't know where to keep this. Probably up here in the front. As much as I love that I received these Lancome stick blushes don't get used a lot by me, although that one's beautiful. When I open this, I think Valentine's Day tutorial, so I might keep this one and get rid of the other one. I have a couple of the e.l.f. putty blushes that I do want to keep. I really like them. I finally have to let go of this Hourglass product because it's shattered. I wanted to keep it so bad. It's brilliant nude. It's a blush. It's so beautiful. I do tap into it sometimes, but broken needs to go. These are my favorite high-end blushes of all time. They are Laura Mercier, so I'm going to go through the colors one by one. We might have duplicates in here because they do send a lot of product, so I'm going to make sure we don't have duplicates, but these are like the best blushes. We have Fresco, which is my favorite nude blush. We have Rosé, Pomegranate, Peach, Sangria, which is so beautiful for deep skin, and another Sangria. So let me see. I will donate the new Sangria. Only thing I wish is that they had an identifier of the color so that I knew which one I was reaching for. So we have an Hourglass blush that isn't broken. This is Incandescent Electra, really pretty kind of pinky gold. Getting rid of this Veil Cosmetics cream and this Laura Geller because I really do not reach for palette style cream blushes. I don't know why, I just don't. We have an Ofra palette. This is their Midi Palette Toasted Cashmere. Bronzer and blush in here, so hopefully it fits. We're gonna try to keep that section to just those. This is so hard because I don't have enough storage. I need like one more acrylic container right there. We have another Ofra Samantha March, and this is a really good blush too, so I'm gonna keep this. Getting rid of any of these gimmicky things, even though it worked, this is one of those black cream blushes that turns to pink, and I just don't like that. Like, I feel like I'm gonna ruin my makeup. It's not something for me, so I'm gonna get rid of this. The old packaging Ofra blushes I will get rid of because somewhere in this disaster I have the new packaging. I have two Milani Rose blushes. These are really good drugstore blushes. I have Coral Cove and Romantic Rose. I'm gonna keep them both. I wish I had a better place to put them. So this is too light for me. This is a primer infused blush from e.l.f. This is called Always Cheeky. It just doesn't work on my skin tone. It's way, way too light. So I'm gonna get rid of this. Then I have this Rimmel one in Third Base is the shade. So I'm gonna keep this. There's another Ofra palette. This one is called Sweet Electric. Hopefully I can fit it in here. And then I love this. This is Alamar Cosmetics blush palette. I never reach for these Kevyn Aucoin blushes for the same reason as the Pixie. I actually don't think, have I used these? Yes, I have. I don't reach for them, so I'm gonna get rid of them. I just don't like the style. I'm gonna get rid of this MAC Patrick Star blush. It's just a little too deep for me. I never reach for this Laura Geller blush. This is in the shade Tropic Hues. I think I got it in a BOXYCHARM. I just don't reach for it, so I'm gonna get rid of this. This I bought from a drugstore. I think it's a Shea Moisture blush. I just don't reach for it, so I'm gonna get rid of it. We have one of these Pixie palettes. I really like these. They have blush and highlighter. I think I might have some more of these in my highlighter drawer, but I am gonna keep this one. This one is in the shade Sugar Blossom, which is my favorite. We have some L'Oreal Paradise blushes. Let's narrow them down. I'm gonna keep Fantastical because it's like a unique color in my collection. I think it's a little bit corally and I like that. I'm also gonna keep Charming, which is a little bit more of a nude. And I'm gonna get rid of Bashful and Just Curious because they're a little bit lighter than my liking for blush. I like my blush to really show up. This is really pretty. This is from Ciate, and I do think I'm gonna keep this one. I just really like the color of it. And I'm sorry I'm not swatching any of these. There's just too many for me to swatch all of them. I have two Milani baked blushes. If you guys have not tried Luminoso, it's like one of the most famous drugstore blushes. It's really, really good. And then this one is Delicioso Pink. Very poppin' pink color. I'm keeping both of them. They're really good drugstore options. These are all of my Colourpop powder blushes. I'm gonna see if I can go through them, but I have a feeling I'm gonna wanna keep them all. We have the new Hello Kitty blush. I really like this one. It's at Frost Sight. The other Hello Kitty one is Bundled Up. I like this one even better. We have the Sailor Moon collection. Both of these are beautiful blushes. This one is called Secret Crush. I love this tone. This is a newer one. I think it's called Palatial or Palladio. And I really like the tone of this one too. I actually declutter them as I go with Colourpop because if I don't like the color, I donate it right away. With the most products I do, but this drawer just got way out of hand. So yeah, I'm probably gonna keep all these. We have Catch My Vibe, Coast to Coast. I can get rid of Coast to Coast because this wouldn't look good on me. Whole 9 Yards is beautiful. And Desert Rose. So yeah, keeping most of the Colourpop. I have Sigma in the Saddle, which is a bronzer. I'm gonna keep it and I'm gonna put it over here. And I have Sigma Corda Rosa, which is one of my favorite blushes from Sigma, definitely keeping. I really do like the Tarte stick blushes, but these are old as well, and Blissful's my favorite, I think. But both of these look kind of gross, so I think it's just their time to go. This is the Urban Decay Naked Cherry Blush and Highlight Palette. I actually really liked this. I might keep it for like 1 or 2 more makeup looks. It is probably expired, but I really, really liked it, so I think I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna get rid of Desert Rose from Note Cosmetics because the packaging is huge. And I'm gonna keep this one because it's a very different color for me. It's called Burgundy from Catrice, and the packaging is very sleek and slim. I just bought these from Alf, so I'm gonna find a place to put them. They're the little bite-sized blush and highlighter duos. And this is probably too light, but this is a Korean beauty blush that I wanted to try. I don't even know the name of it, but I'm gonna keep it until I at least try it once. Getting rid of this Kosas Cream Duo just because creams in a palette, you guys, they just don't do it for me. And this is a Colourpop Coral blush from a different collection. I'm gonna keep this. We have a Korean beauty. This is, I think, like a jelly dough, it's called Jelly Dough Blush. I haven't tried this one yet and I really like the color. So I'm gonna put this up with the creams. So these are little blush letters from Lancome, and again, I think I only keep them to do Valentine's Day tutorials with. It's gonna take up a lot of room, but I wanna keep it, so I'm gonna put it in the back of the drawer. I literally only use it for Valentine's Day. I'm getting rid of the Cream Shop Cushion blush because this is just a weird color for me, although if it was a different color I think I would really like it. We have a Lottie London Blush Crush blush. I like this color a lot. This is in the shade Zac. I love this color, so I have to keep this even though I don't like the packaging. MAC Warm Soul and MAC Melba are both nostalgic to me, although they are definitely expired. I have the original Warm Soul here and Melba, so I feel like I have to keep them both. And then these are L'Oreal Blush Please blushes. They're so glittery and pretty for the summer, so I do want to hold on to both of these, but we are really running out of space. And last up, I have one blush from Pretty Vulgar, and I feel like it's getting voted off the island because there's literally not a shred of room left in this drawer. So I will admit it's not the best organization job, but when I tell you this is like probably 50% of what was in there originally, it makes a huge difference to even be able to see each product, and that was my goal. As long as I can see it, it can get used. So this is the Fallen. I don't have a cute like declutter pile. I put it all in a bag because I'm trying to be a little bit organized here while I declutter, but I think I did a really good job. I think this is gonna make my life a little bit easier. And when I tell you this was the worst drawer, I definitely mean it. This was the worst drawer in my collection, so I'm very pleased with the outcome. So that's it for my blush and bronzer drawer. Thank you guys so much for joining me on this organization journey, and hopefully I'll see you guys in my next one.